Hey, guys, how are you? We are back. You see, I got my glasses on. I've been sitting here. Ghostwriter hat is on today. So, between age and eyes, things are starting to get blurry. Hello. Welcome back. Day 3 of the Pen Legacy Publishing. Meet the team, get some publishing knowledge, all that good stuff. Just waiting for our guests to come in. Hello. I look like my mother. Look at these glasses. Are my glasses crooked? Let's see. Hello, let's see. There she goes. Hello. Please click like, click share. We are talking with none other than the editor, Miss Carla Dean, today, getting all things. Let's see, I think she's in all things editing. I think we're trying to add her. Hello. Yes, this is Charron Monaye. I got my glasses on. I've been being somebody else all day long, so need to be able to see when you live in front of the computer as much as I do. Let's see. Accept, add. Saying something about technical issues. Let's see if I can try to bring her in. Hello. Just trying to add our guest in. Let's see. Wait, okay. Yeah, I saw you sent the request to join and I was adding you. Try to send the request again, Carla. Let's see, maybe if okay, add. Yeah, Carla, it's saying couldn't add guest. That person was unable to join because of technical issues. I don't know. Maybe come out, Carla, and try to join again, I'm guessing. Just send it again. Okay. Add. Yeah, that's what it keeps giving me. It's saying that you're having technical issues. So it's something on your end. I'm sorry. Of course, technology, especially on the topic today, everybody wants to hear from the editor. Because if you like me, you hate the red. Let me see. Add. Yeah, it's still giving me technical issues. Let's see. Okay, add. Yeah, no, Carla, it's still, oh wait, let me see if it allows now. Okay, it says adding. Let me cross my fingers.
Girl, I was about to throw up my hands. I was like, no, devil, you will not win today, okay? Girl.
Hello, Diva. How are you? How are you? You see, I got my glasses on. I'm in ghostwriting mode.
I need to put mine on.
Yeah.
What's
Today is one of those days. So you're not talking to Charron today. I don't know who you got, but we're going to keep it pushing.
Am I okay? Can you see me in the camera
Yep.
and everything?
Yep.
All right.
I see you. I hear you. You're good. So let's get this ball rolling because I know you're editing and I got so many personalities in my head right now and it's scary.
Yes. Yeah.
So again, welcome guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we are day 3 of the 8th Penn Legacy Anniversary Celebration where I wanted to open up my platform to introduce you to some of my team, allow you to learn, get your questions answered, and understand this crazy world of publishing. Because even though, you know, social media coaches, a lot of people are telling you, hey, you can do it for free, just upload it to KDP, which is true. But we want to make sure if that's the route that you go, that you have some nuggets, some education. So therefore, you know, you're not just throwing books out here that's not going to make you profitable or successful. Okay, so tonight we are talking to none other than the simple, keep it simple girl, Carla Dean, who is the editor of Penn Legacy. She is one of our editors. If you publish with Penn Legacy, 9 times out of 10, you have had an encounter with Carla. And we all know editors are not our best friends. We don't. Yes, it's definitely an encounter. But because you know, us creatives, we don't like the editor. The editor is always the editor is like quality assurance. Okay. The editor will make you feel like you can't write. The editor will give you all this red and make you get colorblind. You know, the editor is the main teacher. The editor is the main teacher. So, you know, it's not a happy place. Your role is not we don't honor, you know, we appreciate, but we don't like your portion of it. But it is good to know because editing is the main vocal point. And if you work with me, you know it's the point that I do not rush because the quality of your content is going to determine, along with your covers, the success of your book. Because everybody at the end of the day wants to critique and remind you that you have typos and this is not this and this is not this. Everybody becomes English professors once your book is released. So it's Carla's job to make sure that we can eliminate as much, if not all of that at the beginning. So, hey, Carla.
Bad out in these literary streets, okay?
I'm just trying to help the people because nobody likes the editor. I'm sorry.
I mean, I like to say we're like one of the most intimidating people in the publishing process. The editor is your best friend or your worst nightmare. It just depends on how receptive the client is to criticism and corrected.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's why when Carla edits my material, she does not send me any corrections. I refuse to allow her to hurt my self-esteem. Just send me the clean copy and we keep it pushing. That's how I maintain my relationship, you know, with my editor.
Try to send her the red and then I get screamed at. You know?
Yep, because I ain't trying to see it because I'm the best writer in America and she can't tell me otherwise. I don't care what grammar she finds. Not my business. That's her problem.
Hey, look, whatever works for you. Charron is like one of the hard because she does not like to look at the red and she does not like to read through the final. I'm like, read through it.
Nope. I trust you. I'm good. I don't need to see none of that. You do your job. If I gotta look through it, we got a problem. That's my motto in life. But exactly. But Carla, tell us about yourself, your background, how long you've been doing this thing. Girl, make us feel better so when we see the red, we ain't that intimidated.
Okay. Okay, so a little bit about myself. They like to call me Editor Dean. I have been editing for about 23 years now. I got my start. I love to tell this story. I got my start when I was working for the city of Pittsburgh. So I always loved the books. I got my first library card when I was 3. Well, my mother got it for me. I could not leave the house unless I had a book. If she was like, come on, Carla, we're going to the corner store. I'm like, wait, Mom, I have to grab my book. So you never saw me without book. And I carried that into teen and my adult years. And then I was working for the city of Pittsburgh, and I was online. It was a group that was founded by T. Royal. Shout out to T. C. Writers. And the forum, go on, you would post about your books or the latest reads. And so I was in that forum, and I knew someone was looking for an editor. Well, they were looking for someone to critique their book, review their book. I had posted a message saying that I was interested in reviewing because I wanted to get my hands on the copies where they were, you know, not have to pay for them. Because my habit was getting a little expensive at that time. So I responded to her message. And then she sent me a message back saying that she, would I be interested in editing her book instead of just reviewing it? And I was like, okay, sure. So she sent me her manuscript. I edited it free of charge. I did not charge her. It back to her. She asked me to do another one. Okay. I did another one for her, again, free of charge, because I was getting paid from the city. So I was just doing it in my free time. So I sent it back, and her word to me, we need someone like you in the industry. Get your website up. And from there, I got my cousin to do this website. Oh God, it was horrible, but yeah. But my first paid client, I believe her name was Ruth Bridges. I edited a book for her, and then it's like my name just started spreading through the industry. And not long after that, I was contacted by Carl Weber. So I started working for his company that he was launching under Kensington called Urban Books. I edited 6 or 7 books under Carl Weber's company. Then I was freelance. I didn't work up, under anyone, wanted to freelance. And here I am 23 plus years later. I'm losing count here.
Wow.
But I have a passion for what I do. My saying is I'm a passionate editor for passionate writers. You have to be passionate about your book to work with me.
Got you. I love that. And I didn't know you edited for Carl Weber.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So you dating yourself, because Carl Weber hasn't released a book yesterday. He did, ain't no books come out since yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't edit Carl Weber's books because published under Kensington, and Kensington has their own in-house editor.
Gotcha.
I edited for his authors that were signed under his company, Urban Books.
Gotcha. Okay.
Today, I believe they're still around. So yeah, I did about 6 or 7 books, I believe, give or take, through his company. And then I had people contacting me left and right, and I was like, okay, I want to freelance now. I don't want to be with one person. And
gotcha.
Here I am.
I know. And I think we have been working together since 2017, 2 years after we started. You were referred to me by, at the time, my cover designer, Janita Jackson.
Yeah, so it's been about 6 years.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah.
Yes. One of the originals. Yes. Yeah. Been with me forever. So see, guys, I'm not that mean. People do want to stay with me.
She's not mean at all. She'll put that pressure on me, though. But
oh yeah, I'm applying pressure. I'm applying pressure for sure. Okay, awesome. So let's dive in. The happy world of editing.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you explain or help us understand? Because some people feel that editing is just proofreading. People don't understand the different forms of editing. Can you break that down and explain so people don't feel like, oh, well, I got my book proofread, so that's editing?
Right. A lot of people will also confuse the order in which you should edit your book. I like to say there's levels to this. So let's break it down, right? Okay. So you write your book, you're ready to move forward with the publishing process. Preferably after you've done some rewrite, okay? But we'll talk about that later. So you have so you have the first edit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the editing, or what some professionals call substantive editing. So it helps shape your manuscript. It's looking at your manuscript, big picture. So when a developmental editor goes in to edit your manuscript, some may pay attention to the grammar and punctuation, but mainly they're focusing on like your plot. You know, do you have a plot? Let's start there.
Yeah.
Do you have a plot?
Yeah. Do we even have a storyline to sell here?
Now I'm talking in regards to fiction.
Okay.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
fiction that they will look for your plot, your pacing. So are you giving the details in easy to digest pieces, or are you dumping and dashing? That's what I call it. Dumping all this information, then dashing onto your next point. You know, you're not giving them enough time to, to build the story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And your character development. Does all of your characters sound the same, or do they have their own personality? I don't sound like Charron. Charron does not sound. Therefore, if you're going to write a book about us, as much as I love Charron, don't make me sound like her, and she doesn't sound like me. Our own. We have to be able, and then people that read your book, they want to be able to relate to the different characters. I know, you know what I'm saying, or that's me, you know. So you have to put some flavor, that on the character. Um, so that's as far as fiction. Now, when you go into nonfiction, um, how I do it includes a lot of fact checking. Um, so this book that I just finished editing for you, what is it, Women in Blue? She has some scriptures. So I'm the type of editor. I'm going to scriptures and make sure that you worded them properly, that it's not missing a word, that it's the correct version for which you've written, the right verse. I have to check all that. So those are some things that are involved with nonfiction, and it involves revising and shaping your manuscript, developing in it, and getting it ready for the other stages of the editing process. You want to make sure that your book is clear, concise, and engaging. Okay, so that's that. Then the next step after that would be copy editing. Okay, and that addresses issues with spelling, grammar, punctuation, sentence syntax. That's your structure, your style, your consistency. Okay. Um, your start your character off blue eye, then several chapters later, he stared into her green eye, her light brown eye. Where the hell am I wearing color? What's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
Color change, or you started in the beginning of the book and she was a doctor, and then later on the book she's trying a case,
Right.
stand in front of the judge as an attorney. You're like, well, when does she have time to go to law school between chapter 6?
Exactly. The story has to be consistent.
Right. So having a thorough copy edit will save you from receiving negative reviews from frustrated readers.
Okay.
Now, that copy editing may include some fact checking as well, but check with the person that you're hiring if it's not us. But y'all all should be coming to us, okay? Because I'm going to start talking to Charron about publishing fiction.
Yes. And then Carla will be head of handling all of those clients.
Hey, I don't have a problem with it. You know what I do.
There you go.
Because a lot of y'all know I already have my own editing company, so I'm used to this. So we need to bring some fiction writers under Pen Legacy. Okay. Okay. So after the copy edit, then you go to proofreading. Okay.
Okay.
It's developmental editing, copy editing, and then proofreading is the final step. I had people contact me and say, hey, I need my manuscript proofread. And I'm like, okay, has it been edited, by another editor, edited before you're bringing it to me? Have you had that step done? No. I want to edit it. I want to proofread. There's steps to this. You just don't stop. And you don't start with proofreading and then work your way back to developmental editing, because then you're going to end up spending more money in the process, because you're going to have someone check for spelling, little minor errors.
Right.
You have a whole issue with your character development or your plot, or this chapter needs to come out and be replaced with this content, and now you have to go through another proofread.
Gotcha.
Out of order. So of course your proofreading is your final step in the process. Before you go to print, is to catch anything that has slipped past the scrutinizing eyes of the previous editor or editors. Such as typos, punctuation, the grammar. Depending on if you send a already formatted manuscript, some proofreaders will even point out issues with line spacing, font sizes. If you have issues with widows and orphans, I'm getting a little technical here.
That's okay.
With the widows and orphans is like the first or last line that is left page by itself. It's just hanging out there doing its own thing. You don't want that. That's so good to have one line and then all this white page left. So some, but again, check with whoever you work with to make sure that they did that. And if so, if there's an additional fee, you want to be aware of that too, because no one likes a surprise charges.
Gotcha.
Now
Those
steps. Now you have some editors that do it all, such as myself. Some editors do it simultaneously, such as myself. But it's taken me years to get to this point. So I can do developmental editing and copy editing at the same time. I'm correcting punctuation while I'm going in there and I am moving sentences around, and restructuring your sentence, rewording, and sending it back all nice and red for y'all, because I know how much I like to color red.
I should have wore a red shirt. I really should, just in honor of what you do. I should have wore a red shirt, but it's okay. Now, where does line editing? I've seen that float around. Is line editing copy editing? Where does line editing fit in?
Yeah, they use it interchangeably.
Okay.
So, yeah. It's like the line by line. You're reading line by line every word to make sure, you know what I'm saying, the correct word is used. It's spelled correctly, your Y-O-U-R and not Y-O-U''re.
Gotcha.
Those issues. So, yeah.
Okay, so just to recap, thank you guys. I see people joining. Thank you for joining. We are talking with editor Dean, the editor, over 23 years experience of editing, but she is also one of the editors of Pen Legacy, and she was just breaking down the steps of editing. We have developmental step editing, then we have copy editing, and then proofreading. And based on what you were saying, our book should be edited in that order, not you calling an editor saying, hey, can you proofread my book? And the book was never edited.
Correct.
Gotcha. Hey, yes, honey, the best.
Building. Who's in here?
Yes, the best. Hello, hello. Thank you guys so much for joining.
Hi,
Now,
Paula.
let's go.
Paula's still here. Contact me. She says she wants to be an editor. I'm looking for people to join my team. Let's go.
Awesome. That's what we do. And if you have questions, please put them in the chat. Take advantage, because I'm telling you, if you don't ask today and you call Carla tomorrow, there will be an invoice sent out. I'm just letting you know. So and put your questions in the chat. So let's go back, because you made a statement. So I want to go back to that conversation. How should we, as writers, how should we be submitting our manuscript? Because I know a lot of writers will write the story and be like, oh, I wrote, I'm done, I'm sending it to you. What are some of the things we should be doing to getting our manuscript editing ready?
Not that. Not that.
And y'all think I mean.
I'm gonna be real. Look, this is me. I put on a little makeup for you. I put on a little eyeshadow, but I done packed on the pounds. That girl, you got me on this camera looking some mess. But
honey, we need your editing brain. You fine.
Yeah, I'm here to tell y'all about editing. Don't worry about what I look like. What that manuscript looking like? What that manuscript like? Okay.
Okay.
So when you have finished your manuscript, this is what I like to suggest. Take it and file it away for a minute. It could be for a few days. It could be for a few weeks. It could be for a month. Step away from it. Go back and then read it as a reader, okay? Because see, close to your project, right? So you have to step away from it after you're finished, go back to it, and then read it as if you were the reader that purchased this book, right? And start to ask yourself questions about what you've written. And then that is the time that you want to go in and do your rewrites. Carl doesn't just whip out whip out boop, 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 and send it on. Zane doesn't do it. None of them big people, Stephen King, none of them just write a book and it comes out and it just goes to the editor. They do rewrites. Okay.
Yeah.
So before sending it to your editor, we will gladly thank you. Okay.
Yeah, not a lot of red.
Yeah, it will minimize the red, hopefully. And then you just don't want to send your rough draft. You don't want to send what isn't your best.
Right.
I want you to put all out there and then come to us and we'll make it even.
Right.
Okay. So that would be my word of advice. Once you finish writing it, step away. Now, don't step away from it for a couple of years. Now, sit on it.
Yeah. Set a timer to go back to it.
And crash like mine did, and lost the manuscript or whatever. Like, don't do that. Just step away from it a few days, refresh your mind. And then you've never read it before.
Yeah, and that's good that you mentioned that, because you do have a lot of authors and writers who will send the rough draft to the
Mm-hmm.
editor, and then leave the responsibility of not just editing, but rewriting the manuscript. And let me say, I'm not an editor, but I do know rewrites is not editing.
Right.
It's not the editor's job to clean up what you didn't have time to fix up.
Exactly. Because we're trying to decipher what you've written. Because while you're writing, you're just trying to get your thoughts
Right.
down. So you're typing or you're writing, you know, and then you're printing it into Word, and you're just trying to get it out while you have it here. So you're
Right.
trying to get it, and then you just send it off where it what makes sense to you may not make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
But if you took the time to read through it, you would even say, like,
What did I mean?
yeah,
What is this?
you know, this
That's
word
a fragment.
changes the whole meaning of the sentence.
Right.
And so you want to take that time. All the greats do it. All the great
Yeah.
authors.
Yeah. I do it. Yeah. Yeah. Even if I will delay my release date
Right.
to make sure that's why I do not rush editing, because that is a piece where it can take time. Because
Yeah.
yes, when you first sit down and write the book, that is your first raw draft. As when
Right.
I remember when I took a writing and editing class under Victoria Christopher Murray, who is also the
Mhm.
author of The Five Deadly Sins, that her books converted into movies on Lifetime. Definitely want to give a shout out to her. She was very instrumental in making me realize that, like, your first writing is you vomiting on a paper.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing. You're vomiting on a paper. It makes absolutely no sense. It has no structure. It means absolutely nothing.
Right.
It's like you're just releasing. And then you go back and
Mm-hmm.
you read and clean up and, take out things that do you really want to have in the book? Because as we're vomiting on a paper, you're letting everything out, but everything may not be what you want to publish.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
now that gives you time to decipher, okay, do I want this in the book? Do I not want this in the book? Should I have said it that way? Maybe let me reword it. And then this way, you're presenting your best product, as you stated, to the editor. Because also, just to add to that, and Carla, I also want your opinion as well, if I send you my rough draft, that
Mm-hmm.
to me, that's almost like a representation of how you will view me as a writer, and if you want to keep me as a client,
Right.
right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, are you going to walk out the door without checking to make sure? You see, I keep fixing my hair, and I'm already on video. I got to make sure I'm yeah. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it's getting a little crazy. Like, you're going to check your clothes. You're going to check, your hair. You check your manuscript,
Right.
okay? No, you sending your baby out there. You got to make sure your baby look presentable, right?
Right.
So I don't there's no problem doing rewrites and checking written, because if it came from Victoria Christopher Murray, now you know she's doing rewrites too, okay?
Yes. Yeah. And that was because, before, me becoming a student under her, I was the one that would write the book and be like, okay, it's done for edit. Until she was like, no, that's not. Charron, you waste the editor's time here. No, because
Yeah,
we can't edit your book until after we decipher what you vomited on a piece of paper. So that can make your editing process way longer than what it should be, because when they first get it, they're deciphering, and then they're calling you with questions, and then they're reorganizing, then they edit.
some editors will send it back to you, and then you get pushed to the back of the line when you're finally ready to submit. Now they have the project that they're working on your slot, and now you have to wait again. You know what I'm
Mm.
Yeah, and editing is very time consuming,
Yeah.
very tedious, and time process.
Mhm.
So, there's a lot of books that we have to get done, and we need y'all to help us.
Yes, especially when you're working with Penn Legacy, because I am not the time frames is important. So let's dive into. You have a lot of books to get done. How long is the typical editing process, especially since you've outlined that when you first get the book, you're doing developmental editing, copy editing, proofreading. What is that time frame? Because you have some people who will contact an editor and be like, hey, can you edit my book and I need it back by Friday? Is that possible?
Well, it depends. First, anything's possible depending on how much you spend. Now, let's talk about that.
Like, okay, if you want to give me an extra 20%, yes, honey, I will stop everything and get it done.
Like, how much beauty sleep do I have to sacrifice here? Let's talk about it. Let me my calculator out. Okay. So let me preface this by saying, and I always like to say this, I'm not the fastest editor. I don't claim to be, but I am thorough. Now, do you want fast and subpar editing, or do you want a thorough edit? Okay.
That's true.
So that's something to keep in mind. Depending on the condition the manuscript is in when it's submitted, depending on the word count, that's something that has to, come to play in regards to deadlines. And as far as my business, the client's ability to pay, if I've stretched out your payment plan for 6 months, I'm not going to touch it right away if I have someone that's ready to pay in full now. That's just how it works. Or if Charron got me bogged down with work.
Yes, because I am the priority.
Right. But I would say typically, I always like to say 4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks we can but again, it depends on word count and the condition of the manuscript. If you're getting the first draft, it's going to take longer.
What I already have on my plate.
Gotcha. So would it be addressed in the order in which it is received?
Correct.
Gotcha.
As far as your company, also.
Okay.
As far as me talking personally about my company, it's on the client's ability to pay. Are you on a lengthy payment plan? Because I do flexible for now. Or are you paying in full? Are you paying for a rush job? People, please, when you hire an editor, because us editors, we don't be stressed while we're working on manuscript. Don't try to refrain from setting book release parties. You could do interviews about your book, but don't start taking pre-orders until you see where you're at in the editing process, because life happens. Things happen to go off the deadline. So the editor could get sick. They could have a death in the family. Anything can happen. Their computer, I better stop talking about computer crashing because I already had that happen once, but anything can happen. Right. Okay. And they lose work. You never know. Life just happens. So, for instance, it was years ago, but I had a client, and she had paid for a venue for her book release. Well, while I'm editing the book, then I run into issues with the book, and I had to advise her to go in and rework certain chapters. So that puts stress on me as editor, because now once you edit content, now I can't edit it again. Okay. It puts stress as a writer, because it's not yourself to create content that you might not even be in the mood to write. You just can't out and force yourself to write something because it's not good. It was a rushed project, so you don't want to do that. So try to refrain from down on paying for papers, and stuff like that until you see where you're at in the editing process. I advise wait until you get it back.
Yeah.
Wait until you get the manuscript back. Then you'll know, is it ready? Do I have to rework some section? Do I feel comfortable with the finished product? Then you start booking. Don't let the readers dictate when you release your book. You dictate. They're going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little bit because I had a laugh. The readers will be there. Okay, they'll respect you more if you take the time to produce a book that they will enjoy reading instead of rushing the process, putting out subpar work. Okay, if you're okay with book, I don't do mediocrity. I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't rush through a manuscript just because I want that money.
Mm-hmm.
Want to come. I've been here for 23 years. There's not a lot of editors that can say they're still in the industry this long.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? With a good reputation behind me. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you know it's a process.
Mm-hmm.
So don't how can I say, don't ruin your chances of being a successful author by rushing everything, skipping steps, stuff like that. Allergy. But don't out there people choose to read,
Mm-hmm.
So and you have, like they say, one time to make a first impression.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't wow them with that first book, chances are they're not going to second chance.
Yeah. Yeah, and we did, and I discussed that yesterday with Tamika, how your first book is like your introduction.
Mm-hmm.
It determines how successful your writing career or author career is going to be, because no one knows you, in that space. So that first book needs to be almost like how our first baby. We treat our first child very differently. As we have more kids, that level of care and running when they cry changes. But that
Right.
first baby, we're very attentive. We're paying attention. We're making sure we're sizing the undershirts. We're getting it right. Measuring the milk. That's the same thing with your book, because this is your introduction. Nobody knows you in that space, and in order for them to keep coming back as you keep releasing, they have to know that they're spending their hard-earned money on a quality edited book, not just something you rush because you're trying to meet a deadline.
Right.
And you just started 4 weeks ago.
Right. Girl.
Those are real stories. Those are real stories.
I don't want to hear about them.
But okay, so let's tap into should we hire a profession?
Go ahead.
Should we hire a professional editor, or is Grammarly enough? Because I hear a lot of, authors, especially your self-published authors or different people. I've even had authors tell me that work with me, like, hey, I ran it through Grammarly, it's fine. And then I send it to Carla, and they're like, oh my God, is that my manuscript? Like,
Grammarly could never replace a professional editor. Grammarly is good for if you want to check your spelling for an email you wrote.
She did not say email.
Or a love letter. you're writing your crush a love letter. Things like that. But Grammarly shouldn't take the place of a professional editor, and here is why. Grammarly does not have the ability to develop your story, your characters, your storyline, the content overall. It could suggest a different word, you know, instead of you saying it showed, you showed. Grammarly will point that out. Like, this word was overused. You've used the word showed too many times, right? So
Okay.
how about using the word revealed?
Right.
Little things like that. But
Okay.
it does have to develop your story. It can't help you. It doesn't help point out things that are not in chronological order. For instance, again, I spoke with one of our authors and I said, hey, maybe we should put this before this. You know what I'm saying? Before the conclusion, we're going to move this like this. And she was like, you know what? I call that. That's a great idea. Grammarly wouldn't do that. Grammarly can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whatever happened in your book that needs to be in logical order, and Grammarly doesn't have the ability to do that. Grammarly is not going to pull out your emotions, okay, to help you provide a more touching, relatable read.
Mm-hmm.
It's a computer.
Right.
When has cried? When has the computer experienced heartbreak? When did the computer, know anything about, like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The computer's not human, so it can't explain or make the reader really feel your emotions or your feelings that you're trying to convey on paper.
yeah, they can make it sound a little bit better, but Grammarly isn't going to go in and reword your whole paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
You know, shorten your word count or add to your word count. So that's
Right.
why it isn't advisable
Okay.
for.
Gotcha.
And
Now,
I'm not even going to go there. Never mind. I was going to say something else. I'll
okay.
go.
See, we have a question. So, hey, Tony. Tony Moore asks, I heard that you need certain editors for certain genres, fiction versus self-help versus peer review. If so, where do you find fiction editors?
Say that again. Tony got the long. See, Tony, I come on your thing asking no long questions. No, wait.
So
I kind of look down here in the chat like, where is it at? Oh, okay. I didn't see it. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I heard that you need, so let's answer that first question first. Do we need certain editors for different genres, fiction versus self-help versus peer review?
She's laughing at me. Okay. So yeah, when you're looking for an editor, find out what genre they edit. Some editors won't touch certain genres. Me, I really care for Westerns. I'm trying to think, have I even, yeah, I did edit. Yeah. Oh God, it was painful because it wasn't something I was really interested in.
Right.
You know, some authors will only edit nonfiction. They don't want to edit fiction and vice versa. Some won't touch manuscripts that contain triggering content. So if your content, let them know that in advance.
Yeah.
My content dives into, molestation, trigger warning, rape, molestation, stuff like that an editor doesn't want to touch.
Mm-hmm.
So always inquire into what genre is your specialty. What do they edit? What genres do they edit? and then they'll let you know. There's not too much that I do not edit.
Okay.
That I've edited. Well, I edit poetry, I edit children's book, I've edited, of course, street fiction, urban fiction, self-help. I've edited paranormal romance. I've edited the Western, thrillers. I've edited a lot of different.
Okay. And she said, where do writers go to find fiction editors?
I'm right here. You don't need to look anywhere else. What are you asking, Tony? Come on. What are you doing to me here? I'm right here. Look no further. Hello.
Okay, well, other than you, Carla.
Well, hey, look.
I mean, sure, because okay, so I'll extend that question, because you will have authors or writers that say, I hired an editor off of Fiverr.
Oh, I was about to say that. No. I'm hating on Grammarly and Fiverr today. Okay. Sue me later. No, but cheap is not always good. And I'm not gonna say it's always bad either. I mean, there are some people that have had some success in Fiverr, but my thing is that there's no one-on-one interaction with the editors. So if you want a personable experience, where and you want to be able to speak with the editor on the phone, or see Fiverr's platform, that anybody who works on Fiverr, they cannot contact the client outside of that platform. If they do, they have to activate it.
Gotcha. Okay.
On Fiverr, and because I'm building my editing, right? And for editors, hello, where y'all at? Contact me. So I'm looking for editors to add to my team, right? And I was like, hey, I told them what I was trying to do, and I was like, hey, here's my number, contact me. And they were like, we have to discuss everything on this platform. And I'm like, but if I hire you to work for my company, I can't contact you outside of this platform? You know what I'm saying? Like, how? So that was my first time actually doing that. So if people are going around it, then that's their risk. But a lot of them will not do it. They'll just keep everything on Fiverr, and they'll edit your book and they'll send it back. When I was looking, it only went up to a certain word count. So I don't know. Like right now I'm editing a manuscript like 98,000 words. So I don't know if you contact them and say, hey, I have a larger manuscript. I don't know. But how I work, I like the personal experience. I've never signed up for Fiverr for my services. I don't want to be restricted like that. I don't.
Gotcha.
Clients. A lot of people have my phone number and I have theirs. Hello, didn't we just do this earlier? Hey, her and I, we sat on the phone for 45 minutes talking. We had a good time.
And I think authors appreciate being able for your publishing team, because when you hire Pen Legacy Publishing, you are getting a team. Everybody that's assigned to a task of your, to make sure that your book is successful. There is some room of communication, whether you're emailing Christian or you're getting a phone call from Carla or you're on the phone coaching with me. That I think that interaction, it keeps you in the process. So in this way, I'm not just saying, okay, you give me your book and we'll just return your book. Like,
right.
No, you're learning. So then this way, if you want to do it again, every time you publish with us, you're learning something to start applying to make your process better, faster, quicker, and more, enjoyable.
Right.
Versus just passing over your manuscript and praying to God that when you get it back is what you want.
Right. And so like there's a couple things I like to add. So, like when you work with an editor like myself, you, like you said, it keeps you in the loop. It makes it a little less intimidating.
Yeah.
Because I said in the beginning, I'm not an author's favorite person, but I'm necessary, baby. It's a
No,
necessity. You have to
no,
have a
you about to make me bring out Michelle.
I said
No, we don't
perfect
like you. We don't like you.
loves me. I'm about to tear Michelle up when I get um yeah, so like you know, it makes it less intimidating when they
Yeah.
actually speak. And then it can eliminate a lot of going back and forth or even more work for the author. If I can get you on the phone, because Charron knows how I am, because I'll get to a point in the story and then I'm like, huh, what were they trying to say? I'm scratching my head. And I act like I can't move past that point. I'm like,
And you
I
can't.
the answers. So I'm contacting Charron. Sharon's like, well, I don't know either. So contact the author. Okay. And then I get the author on the phone. And then I'm like, well, what were you trying to say here? And then while we're talking, instead of me printing all these 1,000,001 comments,
Yeah.
and then now send it back to the author. Now they gotta make all these changes and stuff, and then it has to come back to make sure that they didn't insert errors while they were adding text content.
Right, right.
Eliminates that. It saves some time, and like I said, it just makes them feel a little bit more comfortable. At least I would like to think so.
Awesome. Yeah, and I believe it do. It's always because people like that added personal touch, especially when they're paying money for a service. They want to know that they are part of the process. And I think that's why for me, I've never worked with anybody on Fiverr because I have questions. And I want
Yeah,
to be able to pick up the phone and say, no, that's not the right cover. No, that's not the right color. Or
right,
no, I want you to do that again. Or if I rewrite it, then it's like, okay, hey, this is what I add versus just blind emailing.
right. You actually are building a relationship with a person and not just someone on the other end of the computer.
Yeah. And then it's also good because when a person edits your book, it's almost, I always say editing is almost like ghostwriting.
Mm-hmm.
Because you kind of have to know or have an idea of that person, whether you communicated or you've seen social media or you engaged in some kind of way, because you still, when you're editing, you still want to keep the tone, the author's energy, the author's, certain things. You want that the readers to read that book and hear the author, not hear
Right,
a robot.
right, exactly. So yeah, it allows us to get to know each other, and it makes it less intimidating. It prevents a lot of back and forth, you
Yeah.
know. Um, so I just don't, to each his own when it comes to that. People, they're like, oh, but it's less money or this and that and blah blah blah. But why skimp on it? Why, you know? You have to invest in yourself. Writing a book is a business. Invest in your business.
Yeah.
You know, sacrifice all this time that you could be spending with your loved ones, and you're missing out on this event because you have to meet this deadline to get your book out by whatever date you have set for it.
Yeah.
Special occasion, an anniversary or something, your birthday, your mom's birthday, whatever the case may be, a certain holiday that's coming up. I want this book out by Mother's Day because it deals with mothers or people who have lost a mother, and
Right.
how they are dealing. You set these different deadlines for yourself. So you sacrifice all this time and time where you could be sleepy even, because hey,
Mhm.
guess what? You can write is when you don't have the kids,
Mhm.
fighting for you, and or you have to tend to your husband. You have to make sure dinner is done. Then you got to make sure the kitchen is clean. So then you're writing at night, or you're getting up early in the morning. So then when it comes to the most important step in the publishing process, you want to skimp out on that. You want to cut corners to save money. Talk with the editor. most editors will work out a payment plan with you, so that it won't be a big hit to your, pockets all the time. As for Penn Legacy, one of the advantages of publishing through Penn Legacy is to take advantage of their publishing package. Because if you were to contact me outside, I shouldn't say this because now everybody's gonna come to you and they're not gonna. But
yeah, I'll say it. The price of editing is probably the cost of one of my packages. Yes. So yeah, you being able to get every single thing in our package, yeah, it's a gift.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Gift.
And 10% off right now for this week. Y'all better hop on. I'm about to write a book. I'm going to write.
Okay. Yeah. And I think that's what people don't understand is that editing is so expensive when you're not, and I think that's why people skip out on editing. Because I remember before I was with Penn Legacy, or when I created Penn Legacy and I was, in the author space, because I was an author prior to Penn Legacy. Penn Legacy ain't birthed Charron. I've been doing this since 92. But to hire an editor, the starting rate was like $4,000 or $5,000. And they wasn't focused on word count and none of that stuff. It was because, as you stated in the beginning of the conversation, you have developmental editing, you have copy editing, and you have proofreading. So you're doing all three of those processes. So it's like, okay, do you know how much time I have to put in to develop? Do you have how much time I have to put in to copy, to proofread? So $4,000 or $5,000 just for editing was like take it or leave it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now have our packages, some of our packages is less than that, and the editing is included.
Right. So y'all better stop giving Charron a hard time and pay that money.
You know what? And keep Carla working.
Experience. And she didn't find me on Fiverr. Hello?
No. You were referred. You were referred to me.
So
definitely.
Get someone with years of experience and
yeah.
Get any better than Penn Legacy. I'm sorry. Okay. We'll buy us.
I know, right? I appreciate the plug. Okay, so do you have any, I know we went over how the manuscript should be presented to you. Let's just touch on, again, deadlines. Because I really want to make sure that we leave authors and prepared when authors are setting these release dates.
Mm-hmm.
I know you were saying wait until you get your manuscript back from editing before you plan your parties, your billboards, and all that good stuff. Is there, from your publishing experience, because you've been doing this just as long as I have,
mm-hmm.
Is there a time frame? So should a writer who's planning to publish their book, how many months or weeks should they give themselves from beginning to end when it comes to allotting time for their publishing process? Do you believe?
Written the end?
Mm-hmm.
From the finish their book? I would say anywhere from 6 to 9 months.
And that's like typical traditional publishing, because that's how their calendar is. Yeah.
Want to create a buzz about your book.
Right.
So 6 months is a good time to allow the time for everything. Your editing, your book cover, your marketing, promoting your book, and all the stuff, the formatting, everything. Time if you have to go in and do rewrites. So 6 to 9 months is a good amount of time for your I'll call it the publishing calendar.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, you want to create a buzz for your book so that when it drops, you can recoup most, if not all, of the money that you've already invested in it. Because people will they'll be anticipating your book. Okay, like I don't know many of us that are Beyoncés in the literary industry, meaning that you could drop an album overnight and hit that #1 spot. What did she do that with? Was that the Lemonade album or something? It's like we all woke up like, dang,
Exactly.
I didn't even know it was coming, and everybody running and buying it.
And that was a thing when she did that. It was called like the Beyonce marketing. She ain't give nobody a heads up. 12 o'clock a.m. Boom. She took over the world.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't work up here.
Yeah, that doesn't happen in books.
That does not work. So yeah, allow yourself time to create a buzz, getting people anticipating it, and then that will allow time for any hiccups. So then you and then, hey, guess what? If you release it earlier, no harm, no foul, right? Hey,
Yep. Yep.
But if you pass that release date and you've already taken pre-orders and this and that, now you're like, oh, I'm looking bad, or people are starting to contact me. Well, where's my book? I paid you 3 months ago, and all that.
Yeah.
Who wants to, girl? I know.
Yeah. Don't make the process hard.
You shouldn't want it for yourselves either.
Yeah. Don't make the process hard. Okay. So we're getting ready to definitely wrap up. If you have you got editing to do, and I have a book to finish. That's why I still got my glasses on, because I'm still in another person's body right now. Yeah, ghostwriting is real out here in these streets. But I'm
just playing, y'all. I love what I do. Look, if I didn't, I would have got another job a long time ago. Trust and believe.
Yeah. And I would have shut Pen Legacy down, but it's because of Carla and Christian. That's just like, no. We got your back. Please don't. But do you have any tips, things that people need to be aware of, know when it comes to the editing process?
I'm glad you asked.
It's a game show.
My tip when it comes to the editing process, when writing your book, put all your feelings into it. When it comes to the editing process, take your feelings out of it. I don't want to see that face. I don't care. Like I said, your ego is not my problem. It's your ego is your problem. I get paid to do a job, which is to make your book the best that it can be. I'm not here to stroke egos or, Charron, you don't like because it was too much red. I performed surgery on your manuscript. It looked like somebody bled up.
I'm making this space for all the authors and writers in the world that just truly don't like, quality assurance editing. We're just like, whatever.
When it's over, though, you be like, damn.
Exactly. When them sales coming in and them reviews is looking good, it's like.
Right. Oh, let me touch on this because, so let me touch on this from yesterday when Tamika had her interview, and Tamika said, if that's how y'all want it, you're not going to get no pushback from us. We're going, okay, I'm the one to give pushback. Am I not?
Yeah. Carla will make you get editing done. She is not going to make you go out there showing up with independent clauses in the wrong spot.
Charron has sent me manuscripts where the author did not want it. You just wanted me to format the manuscript. I opened it up. I look, Charron, this needs editing. And trust and believe, people, I've never been a type of person to, what is it? What is that called? What's that called? Upsell.
You're trying to get more for less. Yeah.
Type of job, like telemarketing and upselling and all that stuff. I don't do that. For one, I stayed with work. That's for people that's hurting for work. Okay. I stay with manuscripts. Okay, that's why I'm looking for editors. Where are you at?
If all don't know, if you're editor, Carla is hiring editors to enhance and expand her team.
Mm-hmm. Or proofreaders.
Yeah, or proofreaders.
Book formatters. Yeah. Mhm. All the. Mhm.
Carla's
But
Carla's just hiring. We'll just say that. Just call Carla.
but yeah, so like if I come and I tell you, hey, this needs it needs editing, and I don't want you to go out there like that.
Yeah.
I've been known. Hey, look, I've been known with some of my clients that we discuss things, and you want to leave something the way it is, or you want to put it back the way it is, and I said that's not a good look for you. I will kindly ask you not to list me in on your copyright page as the editor. You're not going to be out here making me look bad.
Mm-hmm.
Trust who you're working with. If you
Yeah.
can't trust your hire them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that you should not have hired them. So again, when it comes to your book, but all your feeling good, when the editing out of it, I don't have time for y'all to be sensitive.
But it's our work. It's almost like Erykah Badu. Like creatives, we are sensitive because, the editor indirectly with all, the lines and the bubbles and the colors and
It's real colorful up in there. Yeah. Yeah.
but that hurts my self-esteem because it's like, okay, I can't be out here telling everybody that I'm the best writer and behind the scenes, Carla has my book looking like Rainbow Bright.
But who knows that but you?
Right, but then I gotta build my self-esteem back up.
Why? We're on the same team. I'm here to help you.
Yeah, but I gotta get past my ego. I'm just trying to speak for all the writers in the world because to be honest with you, this is why people run from the editing process because writers, creatives, we are sensitive.
Yeah, y'all are.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need y'all to, because that's why some books are out here looking a hot mess.
Yeah. And bad reviews. And I'm happy you said that because it's the books that's out here that's looking a hot mess that's making self-publishing authors as a whole get beat up, removed, not being able to apply for certain things, not being able to be in certain stores because of the few that's out here looking a hot mess. That is true. Because I mean, I don't do KDP and all of that because I know one with Amazon reach is not as far as my distributors reach.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm all about reach. I'm not out here for you to be on 4 or 5 platforms. I'm a global kind of publisher.
Right.
But when it comes to when you say my book was published through certain platforms, it automatically, because books from those platforms has already made a negative impact, your book is going to get lumped in. Like you have bookstores out here, Walmart, Target, Barnes and Nobles, that will not put a KDP or a self-published book on their shelf. I don't care how good it is.
They can't move books. Their job is to move books.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then, so what are some of the consequences of not getting a professional editor? I'm going to say bad reviews. What do you say?
Bad reviews. You're killing your author career before it even has a good start. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Embarrassment. You should be embarrassed to release that book like that. And I'm just keeping it real. This is what you get. I don't put on no fake fronts and all that. And you see me. I'm on here like, oh.
Yeah, we see your face expressions.
I got to work on my poker face because
it ain't working.
It real. I'm like a real editor. Like I said, I get on the phone with my clients. We talk about the manuscript, and then we have some laughs, and you're shooting yourself in the foot if you do not get a professional editor. And it's good if you can, and outside of Pen Legacy, to a few different editors,
Mm-hmm.
and don't always go on the price.
Yeah.
They always your low quote, your high quote, go with the one in the middle. That's what they say. Go with the one. I'm a spiritual person and pray on it.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
gotten clients where we have done a consultation call, and when I'm done with them, when we're done with the call, I tell them, okay, let me know if you need my services. If you decide to use me, I know you may be interviewing other editor, and stuff like that. And they're like, no, I want to go with you. I feel like I've known you for years. I prayed about this and God sent me you. I really believe that.
Yeah.
I really believe that. So, go with your heart, but be smart about it. Ask the right questions,
Yeah.
about the one question about the genres. Do they edit your genre? What's their turnaround, their, their pay? They offer plans. Do they have references?
Yeah. That's what
Pick
I
up
was going to say. Ask for references.
Unlimited. It might be free. You could read books that they've edited. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And see like that. You don't have to make an immediate decision. But please have a professional. Hire your friend that's professor or Susie or your cousin Billy. Like, don't hire those people just because they love to read.
And I'm happy you brought that up because I've had a lot of authors tell me, well, my sister looked it over.
Okay.
So they just want typesetting and distribution. That's it.
Read long enough to know what book sells, and she knows all about grammar and the pacing manuscript, how much to get hold back, how much give them now.
No, girl, because she was, she likes to write. She's been writing since she was a kid.
That's nice.
Or she was an English major.
Been writing too, but that doesn't mean I'm too busy. I'm too busy getting everybody else's stuff.
Right. Tony said, ego will keep you broke, but I am sensitive about my ish. Yeah. See, it's the creatives. We sensitive, Carla.
Y'all need to stop. Ain't that sensitivity? Okay, go ahead with Ralph Tresvant then. Bobby Brown, baby. Bobby Brown's ready for anything, baby. Bring it.
He's like, look, it is what it is.
Y'all go
Awesome.
that. I need Billy. I need Bobby Brown. Come on.
No, not with creatives. Not with creatives. No, we wear our feelings right here.
You okay? Aren't you okay? You selling the Michelle books?
Oh yeah, girl. I got some things next week with Michelle books.
I question you about things in your Michelle book.
You do.
Yeah. So that's another thing. Just because you've written a children's book does not mean that you don't need an editor.
I'm happy you touched on that because you have a lot of authors, children's book, and I guess because it's not a lot of content.
I tear them up. Oh, I love me a children's book. I'd be ripping them up.
Why do you get excited? Like, you're like the evil stepmother who gets excited. Like,
look at me. Like, let me see. I have your two.
You're scaring the folks. See, the numbers is going down. People dropping off the call.
I got another one. I'm about to put a hurting on that baby. Ooh, I can't wait to.
The people dropping off the call. See, that's why people don't deal with y'all editors. Girl, we're gonna keep using Grammarly and call it a day and pray nobody give us a bad review.
Grammarly doesn't make you laugh like me. Look, children's book. I don't care if it's 400 words. Get a professional editor.
Yeah.
I have seen children's books.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, Lord, this needs help. Some are not as bad, but some are. You have to, some words you may use may not be appropriate for the age, that you're targeting for your children's book, but you don't know.
Right. Yeah, because we're just interested in getting our book out there because we can.
Right. I have a faithful client, Lanisha. I'm terrible with names sometimes. Lanisha, please don't be mad at me if you see this, if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. I've edited how many books in this? It's been, is it 3 children's books? But they were coloring books too.
Okay.
So
Oh, wow.
there wasn't a lot of words on the coloring books. So I've edited, she writes travel books for children.
Okay, nice.
Really cute. I've done I think I've done maybe 2 or 3 travel books, and then she turned them into coloring books.
No.
But it doesn't matter. If it was a coloring book, she had me look over to make sure there wasn't any misspelled words and that it made sense.
Yeah.
She's serious. I respect people that are serious about their craft.
Yeah. Yeah. And it really depends on, like we discussed yesterday with author branding and imaging, is how you want to show up, especially, because your name is on that book. So depending on, how bad the book is or how fast you rush the process, that cross is going to be on your name when that reader reads that book. That bad review, that, not being hired. Because especially for authors who are trying to use their books for speaking engagements, some of the facilitators of those speaking engagements actually read the books, or bookstores. That's why they ask you for a copy for them to review to determine if they want your book on the shelf.
Do you see me? You cannot write a book coming as an expert in your field and have incorrect-ish, I didn't curse, okay? I'm trying to keep it professional, in your book.
Right.
Lose credibility.
Yeah, you definitely lose credibility.
Like you're what are we doing out here?
Yeah, because I remember when we and I'm not going to say the author's name, but remember when we published a book and she was an expert in the field, but she was spelling some of the terminology incorrect. And I remember you calling me like, okay, she's putting herself out here as the guru of this, but the jargon in her industry, she spelled wrong in her book.
Hello? What are we doing, people? What are we doing?
Yeah, and she was one of the ones that said she didn't need editing.
We on this damn live talking about people. Oh, I can't. You're messy, Charron. You're messy.
This is just examples. I've been publishing for 8 years now. Nobody will figure that out. I mean, but that's what people. That's why. And it only came to mind when you talked about it hurt your credibility, because if you did, or if you are publishing a book and you're saying I'm the expert writer, or I'm the expert person in this field, or I'm the coach, but you're using words within your coaching industry incorrect in your book, you automatically going to be looked upon as, what kind of coach is she, and she don't know how to spell coach.
Hello. You can't spell coach. Yeah.
So editing is very important. Editing is very important. And that's why I wanted to definitely ask you to come on as we celebrate 8 years within the publishing space. Because even though publishing is the area that we all hate, it's the area that will either make us in this industry or that will break us in this industry. Because readers are not forgiving. I don't care what you say.
Now, you can sell them a book and you're like, you're hounding them for book reviews. Can you please leave a book review? Can you please leave a book review? Please leave a book if you enjoyed my book. If you enjoyed my book, they won't do it.
Yeah.
But something that they did not like and they spent their money, and they're quick to leave a bad review. Hello?
Yeah. The court of public opinion is vicious. They will point out on page 17. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. And I've seen it.
A bad review before they even finish it.
Yeah. And because they'll tell you, I couldn't even get past this spot.
Yeah.
It was so confusing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've
seen it.
This is real over here, okay? So stop. Take your feelings out of it. I'm in higher Pen Legacy.
You see me poking out my lip.
I promise you'll live to see another day. You might
But
have night first night, like red markings chasing you in your dreams and
nope.
stuff.
That's why I told you don't send it to me. I don't want to see it. Just send me the clean copy so I can send it to whoever needs to do it. I don't want to see none of that. That ain't none of my business. What you do, editing, I ain't got nothing to do with that.
And,
Don't make your problem mine.
Woo, and please don't be like Charron. When I send edits back to you, when Charron sends that PDF or the edited version, the clean copy, read through it. Don't be a Charron. I know Charron love to think I'm perfect and like she trusts me. And like I said, thank God she found me, because you can't do that with every editor, right? But I'm human too. There might be something I miss. I need you to catch it too. Like, I'm not a machine. I'm not, like, I need you to work with me too. So I need, and plus there might be something that I went and I might have misunderstood what you were saying because I was trying to figure out what you were saying. Then when I went to reword it, it wasn't the message you were trying to convey. So then I need you to fix that before we format and it goes to print. If you do not read through your manuscript, then you'll never know it until it already goes to print. And then guess what? Oh my God, the world's on fire. The sky is falling. It's a national emergency. Calling the troops, okay? Because then Charron got turn around, interrupt me from what I'm doing. I'm in the middle of editing something or formatting something. Now I got to stop. I got to find the manuscript amongst the other hundreds and stuff. Then I got to put, guess what? That's more money I got to pay because my time is money. So if I got to go and make changes that you should have caught if you would have read it, and then guess what? I got to pay because then she has to re-upload it, and there's a price involved with that on everyone's website. We just can't pull stuff down and put it back up and pull it down, and, like there's fees involved. So to avoid all that, please take a moment, as painful as it may be, as much as it may hurt your pride and your ego, all that other good stuff, read through your manuscript before approving it.
Yes. Guys, read through your manuscript. Charron is not. She may take her glasses off because as soon as I saw you, I was like, "Oh, she get ready to go there." The only reason why I do not read through my edited manuscript is because the place that I was in writing the manuscript, I'm no longer there, and I've done this before, and I hated it on my Love the Real You manuscript. The editor at the time edited my manuscript. She sent it back to me for me to review it, and I literally ended up rewriting the whole manuscript from beginning to end because that version of the manuscript, I was like, you're not putting that out. You sound pitiful. But that was the space that I was in. So
Is she in here?
Who?
The editor.
No.
Does she follow? She doesn't follow you?
She does, but she's not in here. And she knows. She knows because she was hot with me. And I ended up sending the new book back to her. And she was like, I just edited. Is this the same book? I said, no. I rewrote it. So you need to edit this book now.
For rewriting it?
Huh?
She was mad at you for rewriting the manuscript?
Yeah, because I rewrote the whole thing.
Does that fall on you or does that fall on the editor though? I'm a little confused. I guess I would have to know what she did.
No, and it wasn't her. Like, her edits were fine.
Oh.
She did her job. It was the place I was in when I was reading it. I no longer liked the woman on that paper because I wasn't her anymore.
You hear me? It was you being extra, guy.
It was. Okay. It was, yeah. It was that she did her job. Everything she did was awesome. I read it and didn't like the way I showed up. But when I originally wrote the manuscript, that's where I was. By the time she got done,
But
I was no longer there. So that's why after that, I was like, nope, never again.
okay, now, but no, come on now. Let's be honest to the people though, because we don't want to be leading people out here. Because now, when I send stuff and you send it to them, they're just gonna sign off on it. Like, and I'm telling.
No, don't follow me, because I think I've published 26 books, and you've edited 23 of them.
Okay, so again, so now listen. There's the relationship, right? So you build this relationship with the editor,
Right.
And they get to know your writing style,
Right.
So
Right.
but when I first came, right, when the young lady referred you to me, or me to you, whatever,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
For editor, for editing purposes, right? To
Mm-hmm.
add to your team. So when you contacted me and I edited your book, you read through that first one.
I did.
Come on,
I did.
You didn't know.
Yeah, the first, I think like the first 3 I read through.
All right. So okay, y'all hear that, right? So don't go out there getting an editor and just not reading your stuff. Again,
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
But then also, if we're going to go there, you have to look at, you want to also just don't hire editors. Build relationship with your editors, because like I said, editing is just like ghostwriting. They have to understand your writing style, your tone, how you speak, how you convey certain things, what you may mean on certain things, because you've had conversations with them. Like, we talk about life, different things. So when I send you a book about something, you already understand my perspective on it, because we've had certain conversations throughout the years. So when you hire an editor, try to keep, that's why you should do your research, your references, and all of that stuff. Don't hire different editors every time you have a book, or call somebody like, hey, can you check this out for me? Get an editor. Build that relationship. This way, that editor understands you, you understand the editor, and then that helps eliminate a lot of the back and forth. Even though you may still have questions, what did you mean? But it's not as if like you don't know me at all and you're just blind editing all of my stuff all the time. No, build a relationship with and as an author, you should have a team, people that's in your pocket. Like Tony Moore is my attorney. Carla is the editor. SK Financial is the accountant. Like, I have a team that works with me. As an author, build your team, not just hire people.
Right. Build that relationship. They get to know you as an author. You then in turn trust them as your editor.
Right.
You know, and it makes a world of difference.
Yeah.
It makes a world. I will also like to mention that editing is subjective. So the way I edit something and the way somebody else edits, editors have their own editing style. So if need be, ask for a sample edit, a couple pages, don't send whole chapters and half the book. Come on now, we're busy. Like, we can't do this for free unless you're willing to pay for that. But just because I edit a certain way and someone else edits differently, it doesn't mean my way is wrong.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Just because I use the one word and she used something else, it doesn't mean it's subjective,
Yeah.
So you have to go with whose editing style you like. And if you find an editor who is good and they are personable, like myself, and like myself, no, but if you find an editor who is skilled, that you can build this relationship with, keep them.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it real. I'm not even going to sugarcoat this. Good editors are hard to find. I'm looking for editors. I've been wanting to build my team for a while now, as far as expanding my business and delegating some work. And one, I'm a control freak. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a Capricorn control freak. I'm a perfectionist. That's another thing you get with me. I am a perfectionist.
Yes.
Charron knows this when it comes to editing, and when it comes to laying out these books, the formatting. I'm looking at it. I'm a perfectionist when it
Yeah.
comes to it. Okay.
Yeah. If it's 2 inches off, she's working on it until she can get it right. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, oh, the font spacing isn't right, or, I can't leave this
Mhm.
word over here on this one page, this line, what I was talking about, the widow and the orphans and stuff like that. But if you can find someone that, or all those things, hold on to them, because I've been looking for a while for some good editors. I give people chances, and I have someone that's on my team. She's pretty good. But even still, once she edits something for me, which is never Charron's work, I do all of Charron's editing. I haven't, delegated out, but, my client will go through my edit. But then when she sends it back, I go back to her because I'm still finding things that she missed. And until I get comfortable to where you're at with me, I will continue to do that.
Right.
My reputation is on the line. I built my reputation over many years, like 23 plus years, and I'm not going to have anyone come along and ruin my reputation because they just want to make $1.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's very hard it's hard to find skilled editors out here. If you find someone that is skilled, stick with them and try. I know the world we live in, sometimes we have to watch our budget and stuff like that. But if they are reasonable for the amount of work that they do, and trust and believe, when you hire me, I'm worth every penny plus more. I'm going to say it myself. You know what I'm saying? Make it happen. Y'all can make it happen for the designer bags and the designer shoes and everything else. You can make it happen for the work that you're giving to the world. Hold on to that editor. You see, Charron ain't let me go. I told her I was going to quit several times.
She ain't quit yet. she ain't quit yet. So
put that up, not format no more manuscripts. I said I was going to stop formatting years ago. Charron say, I got this Tyson. You send it over, girl.
But you got to build the relationship. Like you said, if you find a good editor, you trust them, they understand your writing, and that's key because you don't want to lose your writing and your editor. So build that relationship, make sure the expectations are set, do your homework, do your research, because the editing space right now is definitely interesting. And like you said, editing is subjective, just like understanding the English language.
It's very
it is no right or wrong to it outside of your different grammar rules, but outside of that, writing is free. Yeah. It's a free-flowing situation. It's just who can make it sound good or sound closely to who you are.
Right. I do this as my career. This isn't a hobby. I'm serious about it. Like, this is
yeah. But Carla doesn't have a 9-to-5. She's not like me. This is her life. This is all she does. From sun up to sun. When she'll call me, like, I just rolled out of bed, I'm about to turn the laptop on. Like,
before I even go to the restroom, to the bathroom, it's really bad.
Yeah. Or she'll call me 1:00 at night, like, hey, what does she mean? Like, you're the editor, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I will be.
Like, we were not deciphering this at 1:00 in the morning, Carla. But and that speaks to your commitment and dedication to your clients, whether it's Penn Legacy clients, your own clients, or any other company that you're working for. You make sure that our authors show up.
Right. No, that speaks to me. Get a life.
And a vacation. And a vacation. So before we close, let us know where we can contact you for those who want to probably hire you outside of Penn Legacy, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I'm okay. If you just need an editor, that's fine. That's why I'm bringing all my heavy hitters to you this week. But Carla, tell us where, people can contact you. I did see Paula state that she wants to learn about editing. Do you offer classes? Do you teach editing?
I tried that.
Oh.
Yeah, I tried it. It's one of them things like, yeah, I tried it. I don't know. You know what? That's consider that. I may consider that.
Yeah, because you may be able to have a class of maybe 2 or 3 people, because that's what Victoria Christopher Murray, it was 4 of us in her editing class.
Yeah.
And it was six weeks.
And now you
4
can
weeks,
do
6 weeks.
now. You don't even have to go anywhere. You can just do it from Zoom or on
And
Zoom.
that's what
So
we did it. Yep.
that's
Right on the computer.
something that, yeah, because people don't even know like just the different types of editing. So maybe I will start doing like some workshops where I answer editing questions and stuff, little things like that, you know. And
Oh.
maybe critique a page or two, or a chat or something like that. So that's a good idea. Thank you for that. It's all about multiple streams of income, nowadays. But
And then you get to build out your team, because now you created them exactly how you want them.
right,
See?
exactly. As far as Paula, she can feel free to email me at editordean@youcanmarkmyword.com, and I'll spell that EDITORDAN and it's just the letter U, CANMARKMYWORD.com.
And I'll also
And
put it in the chat as well.
yeah, if anybody missed it, they could just, feel free to send me a message. I would direct, like Tony and Tamika, visit my website. I don't have a website up. I've been telling people I'm trying to get my website up for the past probably 3 years.
Okay, so that's your homework after you finish editing all the assignments.
I stay too busy. I don't have time.
Well, you heard what I said. You work on that after you finish editing all of my assignments.
Well, that will be never, because she's with work. That'll be when Charron retires from the industry, and I'm not even letting that happen. Okay.
Yeah, you and Christian won't let me go, but it's okay. We have a ball. We have a ball. We're helping and serving, so it's worth it.
We're not. Me and Christian ain't letting you do that. But like, no. But I'm just so like, I had a website, and then it was like outdated, and so then I was like, I'm tired of looking at it. So I pulled it out. I took it down. I have the content, and I was just going to tweak it and reword it and do a little something, make it more, up to date. But I stay busy.
Yeah.
And I stay with work. A majority of my business comes from word of mouth. So I've been paying a hosting fee and what is it called? A domain name. I got every year and don't have a website up. It's just a waste of money for me, but it's to protect my stuff. So when I'm ready, I still have my name. Can't nobody steal my name, my domain name, So
you sound like Tony. Tony does that. She gets every business has a domain. She owns it.
Yeah.
Whether it's a website up or not.
Right.
Her real estate on the internet is hers. Yeah.
I have it for my old publishing company. You know what I'm saying? Artistic Words Publishing. But I get so much business. I'm like, what I need a website for?
That's true. Well, if you want to hire Carla, or you want to communicate with Carla, then just either DM her or shoot her email.
Facebook. That's it. Facebook. I'm on Instagram. As I believe it's Editor Dean over. I'm sorry. It's at You Can Mark My Word. It's at You Can Mark My Instagram. You can send me a message on there. I do check that, but I'm not active there. Don't look for no pretty photos or anything up to date from me on there. I'm on Instagram. I'm active. I'm on Twitter. I'm not active on there. Facebook is the place. That's where you can catch me. Send me a message on Facebook. I'll get back to you, or you can send me an email. And let's talk.
Yes. Or you can hire Pen Legacy Publishing and just request her like other people do. They call me. They'll hire us and tell me they want, Carla for their editor. So, yeah.
Because then you can take advantage of the package deal that just doesn't include editing. It includes the book cover and the ISB and the distribution, and it helps, set your book up and to release it to the world, So you'll get all that in the package with Pen Legacy.
Yeah. So you have 2 options. But definitely make sure you take advantage of at least one of them, or do your research and hire an editor. But if anything, please just hire an editor. Okay?
We're begging you.
Please.
For the love of God.
Hire an editor. So, Carla, thank you so much. What'd you say?
I said for the love of God and all things literary.
Please hire an editor. Please don't make Carla go into prayer, okay?
On Facebook. For the love of God and all things literary. Hire a professional editor. Thank you.
Oh my God. We take things very serious over here, as you can see. Thank you, Carla, so much for being a part of our 8th annual, not annual, 8th year anniversary of Penn Legacy Publishing. I appreciate you.
Oh.
Okay, now it's time for me to let Carla go because she's sleepy.
Oh, and I still have work to do, and I have to eat dinner.
Yeah. So again, if you need editing services, whether it's book, letters, documents, she just don't do books. Like I've sent her my resume. That's how I got. Oh, let me tell y'all. That's how I got my promotion. Carla edited my resume, and that's how I got my promotion in Washington D.C. So all things content. Yep. If you need an editor, Carla is definitely here for you. Carla, thank you so much. I appreciate you as always. And again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This will be our last interview for this week because I got to go back into the ghostwriting space and the celebration continues, but getting more books off of my calendar. So if you need us, visit www.penlegacy.com, or if you need ghostwriting or author coaching services, contact CM Writes at CharronMonaye.com. And if you need to get in touch with me quickly, just DM me. I am definitely here for you. Good night, Carla. Good night, world. And thank you for making Penn Legacy your home of all things publishing. Good night.
Good night.